How did Zionism as a political orthodoxy begin?
It began, and that many people are surprised when they hear it, it began as a Christian idea, not a Jewish idea. It was part of the dogma of the emerging evangelical Christianity as a result of the division between Catholics and Protestants, and later on all kind of theological streams developed out of Protestant Christianity. One of them was very strong, was the evangelical Christianity. And a special group of people there called the Restorationists, probably somewhere in the 17th century, definitely towards the end of the 18th century and beginning of the 19th century. We're talking about individuals, and that's why it's not that easy to locate it chronologically. But let's say quite a few years before Zionism appeared as a Jewish idea. For them, Zionism was a religious imperative to try and convince the Jews, especially in Britain and the United States, to go to Palestine as part of a divine scheme that, in their eyes, would ignite a process that would bring us closer to the end of times. So first the Jews return to Palestine, then the Messiah is coming back, then there's the resurrection of the dead, the Jews are converted to Christianity, and in various versions, 1,000 years of Christ begin. I mean, with various degrees of conviction, people felt about the next stages, but they were all united about the first stage, that the Jews, as they would call it, had to return to Palestine. Now, these people at first were just theologians, scholars, so that didn't mean much. But very early on, they succeeded in persuading laymen who were important politicians that this was a worthy project, not just because it might or might not bring back Christ, but because it opened the way for a strategic thinking of ceding from the Ottoman Empire that was controlling Palestine since the 16th century, and bring back the Holy Land, as they would call it, but also the areas around it, back to the rule of the Western world and Christianity.